So the idea is that before we can learn to build a new style, we maybe learned the basics of Drystone walling, but now there are some more artistic, more creative ways to use the stone. I had 6 students from a local school for paving and landscaping, and I wanted them to experiment first and get a feel for laying stone vertically, which is sometimes not so intuitive, where you actually, instead of running the stone this way, which is okay, sometimes for the purpose of being able to teach a lot of people at the same time, and also if the stone allows it, we build something where the stones are vertical, and it's sometimes called a wedge wall, and it's very strong because the stones wedge down into the other stones and actually create a bond and some dynamic strength across the wall. And it was fun to watch the students as they stop themselves from doing this. A lot of times I had to say no, in my bad English, in my very bad German. So to get them to think about how and why you would stand stones on end vertically and create a new pattern, a new rhythm that has, I think, more strength in certain occasions than laying the stones in flat courses. I like teaching this because it's different, but also, as I said, because you can teach more students at the same time, because if you leave spaces between your uprights, and I don't know if you can see this on the film, you can then go along and say, okay, this one goes here, no, it goes here, maybe it goes here, and you can actually have more people working on the wall at the same time. And you can work with fairly irregular stone. You can look at a stone and say, I don't see how I must use that stone that way. And I say, no, you can actually use it that way, as long as it still goes into the wall, and you have to leave room on the other side. You can actually build quite a strong wall and quite a tall wall. Again, you have to bring in the boulders on the outside, or the standard column of stone that we're more familiar with, where you lay flat stones for your mass, and then your upright stones have something to lean against. So it's a marriage between this style and this style, which is good. You have both. You don't say one is better than the other. And so I had 6 students, and I showed them. I built one for them, and then they gathered stone from the wall, from the pile that we're going to build the wall from, and then they were then integrated into the students who had been here the day before and already were familiar with how to build. Inside, if my students are doing it right, and I am watching them, they understand that the inside is built very similar to the outside, in that the stones have to be upright inside to continue the wedge, the feeling of wedge. So you have to make sure that the bottoms are pinned properly down in here so that they don't drop. And sometimes you have to wait to find a good stone to do that, which I can't find right now. And then, you need something different. What do we have? Here we go. Where was I? In there. Yes. And then keep the upright happening. And this area is called the hearting, or the pinning. And if you don't do this right, the stones eventually, after a few years, slump down in here. So I tell my students that this part is as important, if not more important, than the outside. Often you get people who just want to build on the outside, so we have to learn to and see there's things missing in here. We've got garbage in here. We have to break up some more stones and fill this area flat before we put our next stone in. If we don't fill this flat, then we're straddling the outside but not filling the inside. And as you see, the wall is wide enough that we can put some still big ones in and still have room on this side to build in this way. It's pretty good through here. I have to make sure that tomorrow we break up some stone and fill these areas first. But here you see from here on, it's much better, much continuous of the upright. And here is a beautiful place for a nice stone ready to be put in, because we've made it flat to the back. And this wall is going to become taller again. We add some more stones to the column, and then we work our way this way.